Joining me today is Marie Lozito, who is running for the New Hampshire State Senate in District 5. Marie, we ended the last time with talking about the sort of fiscal responsibilities as one of the drivers of your campaign. And the next, every 2 years we have the budget. So I want to get a sense of your sort of how you approach the budget process, and I'm assuming from the previous remarks, really, you want to constrain the growth on the revenue side. No new taxes are needed. Would be, but I want to sort of talk with understanding that, and also how do you set the priorities on the spending side?
Okay. There is a no new tax pledge. I did not take it this time.
Okay.
I did take it in 2010 because I felt it as bad as the economy was going at that time and as much in debt as the state was behind in the 2-year budget. I felt we could do it without any new taxes, and therefore we shouldn't do it, new taxes. This time I can't be sure that we won't have to have some tax increases, hopefully not new taxes, but I can't promise not to do that, so I did not take the pledge this time.
So where would you look in terms of increasing fees or?
I would like to try not to increase fees. If at all possible, this last budget that the Republicans put together in the legislature, they seem to estimate the revenue pretty accurately. They're actually going into the second year of our 2-year budget cycle with a surplus, which is excellent. We need that. So I don't think we need to work on bringing in more revenue. I think what we need to do is look at our expenditures. Now, one of the things that Concord has been doing that I don't approve of and don't think is right is they keep downshifting costs. Okay, we're not going to do this, but it has to be done, so the local people have to do it, and your local taxes go up because of that. I don't want to see them doing that because that's not fair either. But people have to remember that the government doesn't have any money of its own. It only has what it takes out of our pockets. It takes out of my pocket, your pocket, his pocket, their pocket out there. Everybody's pocket gets hit. They take their share out of that to run the government, and then they disperse the rest to whatever budget items they've wanted.
The operation and capital.
Right. So I think what we need to do is look at the bureaucracies and the bureaus at the state level, not on the local level, because as far as I know, I don't know of any towns that haven't tightened their budgets up. I actually don't know any people who haven't tightened their budgets up, or families that haven't tightened their budgets up. I think Concord has to look at its costs, what it's spending money on, and cut out any excess. Try to tighten that belt a little bit. If they do that, then we have enough money coming in already. We're going into the second year with, I think it's $800,000 surplus. That's great. Don't use that for something. Keep that, put that into our rainy day fund, which was terribly depleted, is now in a little better shape. But if we have a horrible snow year this year, we probably can't cover the cost of the plowing, in what we have in our rainy day fund, no less in the Department of Public Works. The other thing that really needs to have attention paid to it, in my opinion, is the state retirement system. That is still grossly underfunded. We have a lot of state employees who are eventually going to retire and count on having income from that, right. And there's not going to be enough there to cover it. So they need to fix that too.
But that's where, to go back to your earlier point about downshifting, that's where, at least in the school district, for example, it used to be split between the state and the school district, the local school districts. Now they're picking up more or 100% of the burden. How do you handle the need to fix that without continuing that sort of downshift?
By trimming up their belts in Concord. By say you have a department and you're functioning along well, you make sure that you use every penny that was allocated to you, because that way you can justify saying we need more.
So it's finding the surpluses elsewhere.
Finding the surpluses
and then-
in
and then-
the bureaus and the
using that
departments,
to fix-
cutting that out. I mean, if you have 6 positions, say, in your bureau that have been vacant for 6 months, a year, year and a half, maybe 2 years, you don't need those positions. You don't need the salary that goes to those positions. You don't need the extra money that goes towards their benefits for those positions. Cut that out, take that money.
And apply it
comes
to
off
this fix.
Right, and apply it to the fix.
So we're out of time in this segment.
Okay.
When we return, we're going to continue our conversation, and we're going to shift to healthcare. So please stay with us.